So guys, most of the time when I start a course, I kind of start it. I kind of have already my project files, I have my references, and I started with modeling the head most of the time. But in this case, we will start a little bit earlier. So we will learn how to gather references, how to put our references on the screen, and how to analyze our concept, which is very important, and you will see why. Now, let me show you first what we have to do. We have to first buy, this is Blender by the way, you know it, this is 3.3, but it doesn't matter that much. I mean, most of the things you will be able to do with just 3.0, most likely. So, the first thing you have to go and download Pureref. So Pureref is the, yeah, let's see, Pureref above, yeah, about, yeah, this is Pureref. This program is industry standard program for references. And I'm saying industry standard and it's free, but it's industry standard because it's one of a kind. You can put a lot of references, you will see how we will do it. We will not put a lot of them, but you can put however you want, you can save the file, you can open the Pureref file. The next thing you want to do after you download it, and there is a box, little box, in when you download Pureref, and you can donate, of course. I advise you to do so if you can. If you cannot, just write 0 in the box. Whatever. When you download it and install it, then you have to open it and you will get this screen. Then you go to mode and you make sure always on top is checked. And this is Control-Shift-A. Control-Shift-A is always on top. So whatever you do on the screen, Pureref will be on top of everything, which is very, very convenient. But sometimes when I want to do something else on that screen, then Pureref is starting to get on my way. Then I go down on the Windows taskbar. You don't see it, but it's oops, it's here behind me. Oops, yeah, it's here. And just click on the icon down, and then click, and it will disappear or appear. So that's how I minimize or maximize it. I think there could be another way, but I do it this way. So what we have to do now? First, of course, we have to go to our project files, and this is how I fill my project, my Pureref with pictures. I just drag, and now we have our main concept, made by Dario Jelusic. Amazing guy, by the way. I thought with him. He told me about those skulls here because I didn't know exactly which one is this one. It's Wonder Woman, Flash, and Batman. So it's pretty cool. I asked him. Here's a Superman badge. Amazing. I mean, this concept is just so nice. That's why I want to do it. So in this concept, we will notice that we have a lot of upper body anatomy. Most likely. Of course, we have lower body anatomy. It's not as important in this case, but here we have to do a great job in order to make it work. So the other things that we will need will be, let me show you what. We'll go to Google, and for example, what I want now is a biceps and overall arm, muscular arm. So we go and ask Google, body builder arm, and we get those arms. So in this case, we don't want the arm to be like this. We want the arm to be straight. So we will go to images, and we will start looking what we can see. Let's remove the Pureref file for now, and in this case, this, for example, will be a good addition. Let's turn on the Pureref file and just drag it and drop it around here. So I'm just dragging from the browser to the Pureref file. This is unique and very, very convenient because you don't need to save, load, stuff like this. You just need to do this. Then this one also looks kind of nice. If it's more a bigger resolution, it's not. But down here we can see others like this one, for example. It will be better if we flip it, most likely, but I can use it. Maybe those things are object of copyright, but this guy, by the way, is a very good kind of reference. Very cool, especially this. You see how nice it is. But what I'm saying is, yeah, the same guy. There can be a copyright object of copyright, but It's not a big issue because I'm using them for educational purposes, which is okay. You will use them just for yourself, just for your own reference and stuff, which is also okay. So we want to have images which shows this one I think is bigger than this one, but let's get both. We want images which shows the area of the shoulder, the chest, and the biceps and the triceps, because this area is pretty complex. It's pretty difficult to make. Many people are, even experienced artists I see, they have problems with this area. They have problems with the biceps to make it look nice and make it look realistic. And most of the time they do a biceps like kind of a balloon shape, which is not okay. As you can see here, the biceps is more like a cylinder. Or even we can make it as a something like a boxy shape, but we will get to that later. We just want this. So next I will go to Pinterest. By the way, most of the best references you can find are on Pinterest. So I'll go up here on the search bar, up there on the search bar, and I will write Pinterest anatomy muscular or something. I'm just, you know, using it. So with the right mouse button, I'm just moving around the Pureref file, and I will just click here and click to go to Pinterest. In Pinterest, you have very, very Pinteresting things you can find there. So here we can kind of basically see some anatomy, but let's go and see human or male. We need mostly male because we need more muscle, and that's how we will see more muscle. So there are references that we have to avoid. Most of the references that we have to avoid are this kind of references, which are 3D, made from other artists. But it's also very useful to use references from other artists because they already have kind of chewed the anatomy and they have spit it out ready to digest from you. Yeah, but some you have to be very careful because, for example, this one is very famous. It's not very good reference. You have to be careful. Some references are not very nice. Some references are very good. For example, this one, it's kind of cool, but it's not super nice in my opinion. So we have to be careful which references we get. For example, this one, the biceps, especially this one, looks like a balloon which is inflated and then curved. It's not. I mean, overall this looks pretty great, but when you go to the details, it's not very nice. Also this one, I don't like too much this area. So we need to have the best possible references in order to make the best possible result. And to make the best possible references, to gather them, they are the pictures. With the pictures, you cannot go wrong because they are photographs, the photographs I mean. Otherwise, they can be wrong. Don't take too much references as just things which are drawn. It's not as good. I mean, yeah, so anatomy, reference. I'm trying different things just to see what will work. So let's see this. This looks pretty awesome. I like how this works, how the... Yeah, this looks pretty good, but I don't know if I will use it as much. This is a female, we don't particularly need it. This looks pretty interesting, but no. For the leg, by the way, this will be a nice reference, this particular thing, because it has the flow. It's pretty cool, so we will use it. And I told you, this is sometimes can be called stealing or something, but it's not exactly. I mean, this is the back, very interesting. I'll get it. So we will gather this way some references. This is very nice. This is from Anatomy for Sculptures book, which is one of the greatest, in my opinion, books for this. This is the arm, how the arm is constructed, the triceps, the biceps and everything. Also pretty useful for us Those are basics, so very useful. On some other things which are useful for this will be, although, I mean, to know the construction of the arm and the construction of the overall shoulder, chest, biceps, triceps thing, it's very good to know the construction. But when you know the construction, it doesn't mean you can do it. You have to then watch a lot of references and see how it appears in the real life, because in anatomy books it appears one way. In real life it doesn't appear exactly this way. For example, see, in anatomy books this is okay for anatomy book, but for real life there will be a lot of skin on top and stuff like this. Especially our character is very muscular, so we will watch here what happens. For example, what is this? This is the biceps. What is this next to the biceps? Is the brachialis muscle. This is the brachioradialis muscle here. This is the triceps. It's very huge. It's very well developed. There is the shoulder here. All those things we will analyze. We'll analyze how the chest will work in here. We have very little tiny jacket also. I mean, this concept has a lot of detail. When you first look at it and you say, oh, it's a pretty nice, very nice concept, very nice overall. The silhouette of the character is very cool. Sometimes I forget words, especially in English. But the silhouette of the character is very nice, is very cool. And you say, oh, it's very... But when you go inside, you see it has grenades. It has something like bullets. So this is the belt with bullets on it. I mean those shells of shotgun shells. I guess that's it, you know. He doesn't have a shotgun in this case, but shotgun shells, why not? So, skulls, Batman skull, something to protect his groin, of course. He has a half glove, which has been a little bit unzipped. He has a jacket, which is obviously too small for him, but it has a zipper. We have this badge, we have this on his neck, we have his face, which is pretty interesting. We will start with the face in the next video probably, and I will kind of lead you through the process of creating this kind of face, because it's kind of specific. You have to be able to notice things. For example, the distance between the eye and the ending of the mouth is pretty small. I mean, it's very, very low distance. His nose is very small. His forehead is very big. It's huge. I mean, for a normal character, if we get the distance between the eyes and the chin and the eyes and the top of the head, it will be a pretty normal character. So, although he looks very, very comic-like or cartoon-like, his proportions are kind of, especially on the face, are similar to the real deal, except of course the nose is a little bit too small. But we will get to that, of course. His chin is not super big, but overall the jaw is pretty huge and wide, and that's why overall shape of his head looks triangle. But let's analyze it a little bit more, maybe by just drawing on screen. Oops. So this is the program called Pureref. If the Pureref is this, but this is called Epic Pen, what I'm using to draw. So in this case, it's a little bit strange color, but you see how this is triangular. We have a big jaw. We have a little bit of a, you know, the chin here, the jaw again big and going outward, and then the neck is pretty huge. And then we'll have the triceps, maybe around this area, this triceps here. So he has a pretty long neck, if we may notice. For example, if this is our clavicle, which the clavicle is very nice waypoint, then we have a pretty long neck, we may say. Okay, then, what else we need? The other things we need references for are the dog. We need a lot of references for this dog, because it will be kind of challenge to make it, but I will get you to the process. We have this kind of strange skull here, but it's okay. We can make only one skull and then duplicate it to make all those skulls, but we need references for the skull. So you may notice that at some point the screen just changed a little bit, because Yeah, my OBS crashed a bit, but it doesn't bother you. So let's go skull. Human skull. This one looks nice. Let's put it. I like it. Let's see which one also looks nice. Let's go back. Yes. So this one looks pretty awesome and we can use it. Of course, you need to use mostly not this. You cannot use this. I mean, yeah, use mostly real skulls and sometimes like this use this kind of skulls. Of course, this Pureref file I probably will put in the project files, but whatever. This skull doesn't look half bad, although this skull looks very, very, you know, it's very smooth. We don't want our skull to look as smooth. So this is not a good reference. Don't use it. Use references which are realistic. But in this case, we need to have a side view, which is this, which is kind of okay. This is a 3D. It doesn't look very bad. It doesn't look very good. I mean, super good. It looks good enough for us. This one, not so much. I mean, there are people who are making this. So it's their view, their perception, their how they think. So sometimes it's a good thing. Most of the time you need a real human skull, just to be sure that everything will be in a correct order. So let's just browse a little bit more, see what we can use. These are the shapes. I mean the planes of the head, not so much because it's too much detail. It's not the main shapes of the main planes of the head. I should make a course about it at some point, but it's okay. So now let's continue. This skull is not the best that I've seen, but it's good enough. We can use it. Of course, we can try even more. For example, I will, you know, the why we are in Pinterest, because in Pinterest, when you click on this, for example, it will give you similar images. So it will give you images which are similar to this one. And it's very nice because you can browse and you can narrow your search by just going here, here, here. For example, this one is from Anatomy for Sculptures, the bony landmarks of the skull, these things here. And we have others. For example, here you see Asian versus Caucasian. You see how the skull of the Asian is a little bit more flat in this area. It's pretty amazing what you can find here in Pinterest. Of course, most of the time you will need a registration, but it's okay. You can register and see what's happening. So for the skull, for now, maybe those will be okay. Or other, I would need more. I think I need more. I think I just need more. Let's see this one, and then not this one because this one I don't like. But let's see this. No, I don't like this too. I need real skulls. I need nice lighting. I need close-ups like this one, for example. It's very nice close-up. This one is cool because you can see it a little bit on the top. Yes, we can use it, but be very careful what references you use, because I told you your art will be as good as your references. If your references are bad, if your references are art from an artist who is not as good, then your art will not be as good. So be very careful. I'm not saying that I'm the best. I'm not saying that my art is amazing or the best ever or something, but I'm trying to use references which are better than my my art. I mean, for example, this is better than my art because it's difficult. I mean, it's not difficult. If I try, I probably will be able to make this kind of arm, but it's useless. I mean, I want to make this kind of arm, not this kind of arm. But from the lessons I learned while I watch this arm, I will be able to do the other arm because there are similar things here on this arm. Let me quickly just go and tell you what are those. So, for example, I have to be able to, okay. So, biceps. But you see, here on the upper part, the biceps is not like this. In the upper part, it's kind of like this, and then in the lower part, it goes in. Here, it's the shoulder and everything, so it's not the shoulder is here and the biceps goes, it's, especially when the arm is straight. When the arm is, like this, then the biceps is going more full. But whatever. So here you might not see it, but we have the brachialis muscle here. Then we have the brachioradialis muscle, and both of those muscles who are rotating the arm, and then they're going to the other side here. Then we have the small head of the triceps, one of the three heads. This is the other one, a little bit visible here on the back. And this is the third one, which is below the tendon of those two. And then the tendon is connected to just below the elbow. Yeah, sometimes I forget. But the elbow. Then we have also the shoulder here, and this arm most likely will be very good. Those are the muscles. This arm will be very nice. Yeah, I'm just thinking about something and saying another thing, but these muscles here that are coming from, they're coming from this area, just near the elbow, and those are the muscles which are, they're making this motion of the fingers. They are muscles of the fingers, and they're here, and they're connected, and they end around this area here. So this is very bulky here, and then tendons, a lot of tendons coming. These are the muscles of the lower part, so they are kind of squeezing the fingers. But yeah, those things we will talk about a lot. I'm just giving you a little bit of a heads up. So yeah, I think this is enough for now. When we get to the dog, because we will make the dog, we have to gather references for the dog too. But before that, we will just save this as save as. We will go to our folder, which is this, and we will save it in the project files, because I will give it to you. It will be Lobo scene Pureref file. Okay, now it's saved. We can always add more, we can remove, we can do whatever we want. So it's very nice. So let's open Blender. Okay, and we can start analyzing our concept in the next video, of course. Bye for now.